you're so bold, but I was unaware. Walk around like everything belongs to you. Talk to me like I'm a young stupid fool. Take off all your clothes. You're nothing more than silverware. Why you calling me honey? Why you show off your money? Wave it like it's a tissue. Yesterday I lost the battle, trying at all costs, oh, to keep you, baby. Oh, to keep you, baby. Now I hurt so bad, all I feel is sad that I lost you, baby. Oh, I lost you, baby. I said goodbye with tears inside, calling out your name as you shut the door behind you. And now I wonder, why won't you come back? Love me, hold me, need me, like the way you used to do. When it was just me and you. Don't go, I need you, I'll never mislead you. Give this love another chance. Take my hand and let me have this dance. Tomorrow is another day. So sit around and waste away without you, baby. Oh, without you, baby. My life used to be in blue. Now it's mostly filled with gloom. I miss you, baby. Yeah, I miss you, baby. I said goodbye with tears inside, calling out your name as you shut the door behind you. And now I wonder, why won't you come back? Love me, hold me, need me, like the way you used to do. When it was just me and you. Don't go, I need you, I'll never mislead you. Give this love another chance. Take my hand and let me have this dance.
What is going on, people? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If this is your first time here, this is Glendon Cameron, your corporate coach, your money coach. And if you want a consult or a free course, all links are below the video. Been thinking about money. Posted some on my Facebook page. You know, the average man, when he gets to 60 some years old, is only making like $1,000 a week. That's only 50 some $1,000 a year, and that's 60. That's 60. And the video Money Drama on Savage Finance, if you hadn't seen it, you should check that out. Talks about the habits of having money. So one of the things that I've come to understand, and this is something that is not heavily pushed in the personal finance space, but I'm pushing it, is you need to make more money. You need to make more money. Because when you make more money, everything is, it's easier to manage. making it's easier to manage more money than it is to manage less money. Because let's go ahead and talk about the sugar baby index. I haven't really been, I've been working on the corporate toolbox and stuff, so I hadn't really been doing a lot over there. But based upon my research, I think that many women turn to this as a means of, as a last resort. It's a last resort action. I mean, there was this one girl I was talking to. She was living with her sister, sleeping on the sofa. She had 3 kids. She had lost her job. She had lost her, just very, very bad money drama. Just money drama. And this is a scenario that repeated itself over and over and over. Oh, I don't have my own place. Oh, I got kicked out. Over money drama, just money drama. And I'm just sitting there like, these, one I was talking to, she didn't graduate high school. She dropped out of high school. I mean, high school is super easy. But I consistently saw this scenario of bad decisions, like having 2, 3, 4 kids, not being married. To me, that's a bad decision. I consistently saw these things where they were predestined for money drama. I mean, any way you cast it. I mean, for me, like, I don't have my phone here, but if I lost my phone, I would have another phone that day. One chick I was texting, she stopped texting, then she lost her phone and she could not have access for her phone to a week. And I'm just in here like, and then I begin to recognize some patterns that were very humbling. Used to be like these chicks. That was the aha moment, as Oprah would say. I used to be like these chicks. I didn't have any savings. Sure thing. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I began to see similar financial parallels between these chicks who turned to the sugar baby website as a means of last resort and myself and who I used to be. And it was just like, oh, like right now, I just couldn't fathom not having money in a checking account. And, Grant Cardone and many people who said savers are losers, savers. First of all, let's look at Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone has millions of dollars of rental income coming in every month. And unless something just really crazy happens, it's going to be that way until he dies. He don't have to save money. When you've got millions of dollars of rental income coming in every month, you don't have to save money. I mean, Grant could develop, not wishing anything bad upon Grant. Grant could develop a cocaine habit and it would not mess up his money at all. Grant could develop a $2,000 a day cocaine habit and he would still be okay. So looking at the proximity and the position, like if you haven't seen the video on Savage Finance, check it out. It's a good one. It's a good one. No, she's still, I think she died. I think she's gone. No, this was another chick. No, her phone got shut off. She didn't lose her phone. Her phone got shut off. It's still off. So when I was looking at this, because I was just like, because I do this stuff because I'm a social scientist and I do a lot of research and I like data points, and I would ask them so many questions. One chick was like, "Why are you asking me all these questions?" It was funny, but from what I've seen is the average woman that goes to those websites is an act of last resort. They're desperate. They're in dire financial straits. I mean, bad stuff's about to happen. Money drama equals less independent decisions in life. I mean, seriously. I carried 2 phones today after one day my phone stopped working and lost me money. Tim A, see, you've moved into the abundance sector because right now on my desk is 2 new iPhones I'm not even using. I meant to put them up on for sale, but essentially, when you have a tool like I have this MacBook Pro, which I bought last year, I've got the iMac Pro, which I bought last year. I cannot be in a situation where I don't have computer processing power. I cannot be in that situation. So I have duality backed up. Cash is king. That's true, Ron. That is true. Why is increasing income so difficult for many people? Glendon, that seems strange to them. Many people struggle with that. The first issue is no one told them. This is something that I'm seeing consistently. No one told them how they could increase their income. No one told them that they could increase their income. Like right now, I'm getting ready to run some paid ads for a new product that I've created that once you know you can do it, it seems simple. But until someone tells you you can do X, Y, and Z and you get these results, no one knows. So the first thing is no one knows. And the second thing is misconceptions and bad thought processes. Like right now, the average person is being priced out of the housing market. It's getting to the point where the average middle class American is not going to be able to afford a house and they're going to be pushed to rentals. This is why people who are going to have rentals, the rental industry is going to boom for the next 15 years. Because even though interest rates are at an all-time low, many people can't qualify. Like right now, I got a video on Savage Finance. You can get a FHA mortgage with a 580 for the 500 credit score, really. But people can't qualify due to debt to income. Work is difficult for many people. This is true. So one of the things that you're going to see is that, because this is something that I consistently see with YouTubers who are doing well financially before YouTube. There's this one guy I found, his Edward M. He's into BMW M cars, and he clearly, I don't know what he does. I haven't watched enough of his channels, but he's clearly making some money to be able to afford to buy an M3, a Mercedes, X5. He's got his girlfriend, the brand new Mercedes. I think that's just going to be his wife. And one of the things that happens when you make more money is you experience more abundance. I carry a backup phone I can slide my SIM card into. I'm in trucking, no phone, no money. Hey. You got to keep your tools because in the video on Savage Finance, it hit me last year why I made so much money. Yeah, I was working hard, but I've worked harder and didn't make that kind of money. See, here's the thing. You need money to attract money. And this is why, with the Sugar Baby Index, why so many of these chicks, I mean, we're talking really bad financial positions. I'm talking like stuff that I've not experienced this stuff. I don't know what it's like to be homeless with children. I don't know what that's like. That's got to be gut wrenching. That's got to be super hard. And a lot of these chicks are homeless. They have kids. I mean, it's very, very depressing once you start to dig in and understand what they're going through. And a lot of these chicks are victims of circumstance. I guess people are in a herd of come thinking like spend today, worry tomorrow, fluid flows. That's one of the struggles I have with Savage Finance. If you notice, I've taken a different tactic for this year with the channel because that was one of the questions that I asked with my YouTube mastermind. Like, why don't people want to do the right thing? And fluid flows, I guess that's a good point. I guess people in the herd come thinking like spend the day, worry about tomorrow. People are not worrying about tomorrow. People are not setting up plans for tomorrow. They're just not. They're just out here living for the day. John Thompson, some people are scared to take a chance. They're comfortable calling around screaming at people on their Obama phones. Get out your comfort zone and strive for better. Pretty much. Proximity matters. Being around the right people makes you aware of what's possible. Going back to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant had comparable talent to Michael Jordan. And that's why he was able to do those things on the court. Like if you 5'2" and chubby and you were doing Kobe Bryant's morning routine, that ain't gonna help you. It ain't gonna help you. It's just not gonna help you. So proximity is very, very important. And one of the things that helps me is this neighborhood because like I don't have my phone. I would show y'all because I went by my first house and I went to that neighborhood. And it was so crazy looking at that house. And I was just sitting there and I was in that neighborhood and I was driving around. Actually, yesterday, I went by my old warehouse and the neighborhood has changed. There's like some crazy stuff that's going on. They built a McDonald's in the parking lot that used to be empty, and there is nobody. I'm probably going to do a tour of the warehouse and the whole thing because I went and looked at that house and I don't know who's living in it because I didn't knock and knock on the door. It's like, hey, I used to live here. Let me in. Let me walk around. That would have been crazy. But one of the things that I noticed was proximity, because this neighborhood is my normal. This is my normal. I'm used to driving past mansions every day. That's my normal. I don't even think about it. But when I was in that neighborhood, it was such a radical departure from where I'm at now. And I was just sitting there like, goodness gracious. That's different. That is crazy how I was living. And I looked at it and it's a 3-bedroom house. Make sure. Yeah, 3-bedroom house. The 2 secondary bedrooms are super small. And I was just like, I'm going to probably post a picture of it in the community section. And I was just looking in the neighborhood and I remember how this neighborhood had a lot of bad things. There used to be a Target that closed. There used to be a grocery store that closed. There used to be a Best Buy that closed. And I'm asking myself, why did they close? That's funny. I almost crunk up the drone today. I got to do that next week. Benji, you got to do whatever you can do, man. There is no quote set hours. It just depends on you should focus on getting as much as done as possible when you work versus, working a set amount of hours. I tell religious people that try to warn others about the end of the world in the next few years falls on deaf ears because people are only thinking about their supply of Hot Pockets for the next four. Hot Pockets had a recall. I think like 70 million Hot Pockets got recalled because there was some metal with some stuff in there. That's crazy. But yeah, people, because this is where I struggle with Savage Finance because I'm putting out long-term things I know that work, but I am talking to the common man. And the common man, Wayman Brown, is only thinking about their supply of Hot Pockets for the next few days. All right. Fluid flows. I got an accountant friend who's divorced with 5 teens, told him to start a business from last year. All he wants to do is invest in Bitcoin and get a mortgage. That path leads to hell. Let's see. What is Bitcoin doing? It's down a little bit. That's interesting. Nope, this wasn't when I was married. I didn't have a house when I was married. I lived in apartments. I know. What do you mean? What's the best landlord strategy? Um, Essentially, what's going to happen is we're going to become a nation of renters because a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to buy a house, even with all-time interest. Like, because once again, people don't have no money. It shocks me how people don't see the good sense in stacking cash. I mean, I've not been dealing with the sugar baby index for a minute because I've been working on other stuff, but I'm here to tell you, and this is what's really bad about it. A lot of these chicks have children, and these children are growing up with a poverty mindset. They're growing up in a state of survival and struggle. There's a documentary on YouTube called Poor Kids, and listening to these kids talk like we couldn't afford the bill. This is why the gas got cut off. I mean, just bad outcomes all the way around. Yeah, Charles Schwab is good. The common man wants big booty Betty, video games, Netflix, and chill. Most men's are babies today. They don't want much out of life. The great says it's going to be bad for many. This is true. Tiny houses are already just expensive. I was watching this. This guy built this tiny home for like $250,000. I was like, really? That's crazy. It gets hard to stack money when you get needy family, needy girlfriend this year. I plan on cutting a lot of that out. Because essentially, this is why you need to make more money. Because I'm like I said, I got to work on that. I'm gonna be writing these books, and I don't think that people understand the value of making more money. Van life is a very interesting take on life, and that is income produced. That van life is orientated around money. As creatures of a habit, most of us have to be shocked out of our destructive habits. That's a good point. I don't really know anything about trucking. From what I hear, is a good business. I will give y'all one data point from a trucker. He says, with so many of these people, there's a good art, Alex something, good energy, hood estates. A lot of people are getting into trucking, and it's starting to impact. Because I got a guy who works for a company. He said they took a hit because there's so many of these small independent truckers out here. He said they actually took a hit, and this is a large company. So, here's the thing with trucking. Your biggest issue is going to be with the drivers. The truck, getting the loads, that's not a problem. Your biggest issue is going to be with the drivers. I have some gold. I'm not buying it. Tell them you ain't got it, pretty much. The tiny house market is booming. The tiny houses, van life, living in a bus, all of this stuff is produced by the lack of income. I mean, I want you to think about this. If someone came to you and said, hey, you can live in a van, and every time you got to use the bathroom, you got to scramble to find a place to use the bathroom. They make van life sound so. There's this one chick. She lives in a Prius. And she's like, I may do this forever. I don't know. Once again, here's something, and I want you guys to listen to me. Van life, tiny house life, all this stuff is cool when you're in your 20s. Remember when you were in your 20s, you were in college or the military, and you had no problem having sex with your girlfriend with other people in the room. When you get in your 30s, that ain't cool. It's like, nah. When you get in your 30s, that don't work. In each stage of life, from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s, and this is something else that I've noticed. A lot of these people, once they, David Attella, he's the minimalism guy. He got married. He moved to a bigger house. Now he and his wife have moved to Australia to be closer to her family. As you go through these stages of life, as you get things, van life, tiny house life, living like a college student, that ain't attractive. It ain't attractive. It's just not attractive. Like, there is no way, I can live in a nice motorhome. I can do that for a minute. Nice, one of the big full-size RVs. I can do that for a minute because I got a bathroom in there. But to consistently not have a home base, that would be crazy. Tiny homes of poverty gentrified. Mobile homes, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, you got to help yourself, man. Tiny homes are fancy trailers. In many aspects, they are. I consider living in an RV to get where I'm trying to get to. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right. Living in a tiny home or living in the van. Now, there's a guy on YouTube, the homeless firefighter. Just Google it. And he's a firefighter, and he lived in his truck, and he saved like $100,000. So he's doing this with an intention and a purpose. However, his videos are funny because he's got this dry sense of humor, this deadpan sense of humor, and he is hilarious. But he is working all overtime he can and all this stuff, and he gets to shower in the firehouse and everything. So only on his days off does he actually spend time living in this truck. Yeah, where I get my gas from my car, there are 21-year-old high school dropouts. All they talk about are video games. I'm like, but what about making money and dating? They just look at me. Yeah, dropping out of high school is a bad decision, man. It's just a bad decision. Because when that chick told me that, it made me look at her totally differently. Because the first bad decision was to drop out of high school. That was first bad decision. The second bad decision was to have that first child and not be married. The third bad decision was to have another child and not be married. And the fourth bad decision was to have another child and not be married. Glendon, I don't know why people who struggle just take a dollar bill and stash it every day. That's what I had to do to develop the habit. Roger, I have a whole video talking about developing a habit of savings. It's a habit. It is a habit. You got to change your behavior. People don't want Alex Good Energy. There's a lot of people out here getting folks in trucking. From what I hear, if you manage your costs well, you can make a lot of money. RV sales about to blow up. Terrell Bennett is facts. If they were making 100K a month, they wouldn't be doing that. Pretty much. I mean, they make it sound so romantic and exciting. Living in a van. And you're going to see as they age up, they're going to come out of that van life. They're going to come out of it. I think, if you're young, the Army is a good option. I would not recommend going into Army as a 35-year-old man, but I wouldn't recommend that at all. All right, Tony, do it, man. Make it happen. Trucking, Romeo, like any business, you need to find your niche, make good contracts. And yes, it's very hard to find good drivers. I'm a good driver and will leave for a better opportunity in a heartbeat. Y'all be in and out them seats, man. Not even in your late 20s. I remember how old was I? Was I 20 or 21? And I was at Schofield Barracks, and we used to have our little girlfriends over. All three of us. It was three of us in this large room, and what we would do was we'd move our lockers, to open up the doors, we'd create these little modules. And we'd be in there having sex like it was nothing. And then later, as you age up, that seems kind of sketchy. You're like, you ain't doing that. I remember I was dating this girl, and I went to see her, and she lived with her brother, and it was like a 2-bedroom apartment. And her brother had some company over. We're in her room, and they were real loud. They were out there, just dapping it up, having a good time, enjoying the weekend. And she couldn't do it. She was just like, no. So it gets funny. Oh, AJ, you talking about the chick that live in the Prius? That is crazy, living in a car. And then she, videos, because essentially I understand why these videos get so many views. There are so many people who are in these very bad financial situations. Really, really bad. What's next? 40-year-olds live in their mama's basement. Imagine bringing home your girlfriend and saying, "Be quiet, my mom is sleeping." Man, there are folks who are there, man. There are folks who are there. Matt Del Villamus, he got married. He moved to a bigger space. That minimalism goes out the window once you start to adult, once you start to get adult responsibilities. Melissa, if I do that, yeah, because here's something else. The economy is going back to normal. The other day, I went to Cracker Barrel. I just had a taste for some Cracker Barrel. It was a 40-minute wait, which is why I hate going stuff on the weekends because, once again, everybody's off and everything's crowded. I slept in my car for a few weeks. It was very depressing, King Solomon. It's very depressing. Wiping with leaves. Oh yeah, a lot of tax benefits as a landlord. That's good for you, the real Blackula. Yeah, I mean that whole bathroom action, it will get to me. That's why I went back to freelancing and transcription because online is in demand. Cool. Narrow boats becoming very expensive. What do you mean? Now that's cool, Davita, that you got family that can do something for you like that. Good Lord, Benji, that is crazy. Affiliate marketed a bunch of folks into trucking, pretty much. Wayman Brown, this is the thing that I struggle with because let's go ahead and go back to the sugar baby index. These women are pathologically geared for financial devastation. They're set up for financial ruin. I mean, little stuff to me, like if a tire goes down, this is a big financial event for them. If a tire goes down, and essentially going back to proximity, how you set yourself up is how your life is going to be. Bum life is already a thing. Living in the mystery machine, Scooby Doo. A bunch of passport bros who went to Vietnam, Philippines, and overseas living on 400 a month. A year later, all them back in the U.S. and Mexico. Yeah, there's a reason. Honestly, I'm not leaving the United States of America because I have been to London, I've been to Korea, Japan, Brazil, Colombia, and there is nowhere else I want to live. That's just me speaking from my desires and position. There's nowhere else I want to live except here. And essentially, all this passport bros, living in other countries, living in vans. Once you get older, that ain't cool no more. It just ain't. Having the edge, I appreciate that. Yeah, because essentially what I discovered is, and this kind of goes back to my first business and having a job and creating surplus income, the money was able to stack because I was doing more. I had more activity going on. I had more money coming in and the money was able to stack. And I remember going to the ATM and putting my ATM card in. It wasn't a Visa. It was an ATM card, and drawing out $100 and seeing I had over 200K in the bank. I was like, whoa, who are you? I was taking trips. I was driving the new BMW because, see, I was in a situation where I was spending, but money was coming in faster than I was spending. So it was stacking, even though I was spending. And a lot of people don't understand that. They want to just spend. Like, fortunately, a lot of these clowns are gone because it's like, well, if I was making that kind of money, I wouldn't be You don't understand how money's made, bro. You don't understand how money's made. The Jedi mind trick is rampant in these YouTube lifestyle. Oh yeah, because I'm like, I'm like, if I sit in a comfortable chair too long, my foot may fall asleep. That was an issue I was having before I started working out intensely again. Can you imagine sleeping in the front seat of your car? Can you imagine that? On government property. Switched 2 jobs 2 months ago, triple my income. Hey, truckers be moving, man. Y'all be making these moves. What's up, Royston? Oh, cleaning. I know someone that started a cleaning company, made most money he's ever made in his life. A lot of people's grandparents. The world was different, Matt, coastal designer. In the 60s, you could not finish high school and go to Detroit, work at Ford, Pontiac, GM, Jeep, Chrysler, and make enough money. Because essentially, this is one of the things that hollowed out the middle class is when we outsourced our manufacturing base to China. Because it used to be you can grow up, not go to college, not even graduate high school and have a good life and get a nice retirement check. Those days are gone, man. They're gone. All right, you're going to have your fleet. Appliance boot camp. Have someone living in a van behind a property I just purchased. She acts like I'm trespassing on my own. She done taken over. She's squatting on your property, appliance boot camp. She's squatting. That's funny. Pretty much. What's the benefit from having 5 checking accounts? The benefit is it teaches you how to segment and organize your money. And once you learn how to segment and organize your money, your financial life dramatically improves. What's up, C Ransom? Appreciate that. Ron's is easier to adjust down and to generate the energy to ramp up. This is one of the things I've seen because minimalism. Anyone that was talking about minimalism since 2017, their channels blew up because van life, living in your car, tiny house living, minimalism, all of this is a de facto spin-off of not having money. That's what it is. Like, I used to crack up at all these drop shipping guys who were doing these drop shipping YouTube videos, living in the Philippines. Bro, it only takes you $400 a month to live. If you were making so much money, how come you're not living over here in the United States? How come you ain't living over here? Good Lord, appliance boot camp. That's horrible. Slept in the car in Charlotte to Y until the money ran dry. Hey, I did that myself. Yep, I got a YouTube course. We're cranking that up. These people are sure hell wouldn't bring a child in this situation, but these are the same people that say I'm not having children, but they say because of their finances. Typically, I think that's a good decision if you cannot support yourself not to have a child. I think that's a winning decision. She love you long time, Benji X. She love you long time. Pretty much. You gotta have a plan. It's that's the simpler that's simplified, Donnie. But yeah, that's the part of it. Yeah, I mean, those days are gone. Those days are gone. But you need to make more money because, like, when I was doing that video on those Savage Finance, check it out. It hit me that because I was thinking about a lot of stuff like the Sure Baby Index, like how many of these chicks' financial lives are an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, these chicks are on the verge of being evicted, on the verge of getting their cars repossessed. I mean, it's bad energy. It is really, really bad energy that a lot of these chicks have. And, like I said, I've done enough research over there. It's kind of funny. She wanted money. Because we're going to get into, for you guys in the corporate toolbox. I got to do the training on it, but I created my first test ads. And I need to talk about that because you've got to create your ad sets. You got to test them first. So they should be live tomorrow. And I'm going to start talking about that training for all the folks who've been like, I want to run ads. I want to run ads. Okay. Here's the thing. Running ads without knowing who your audience is, having a good creative, this is your commercial. You will not make any money just running ads without actually knowing who you're marketing to. You will not. The Village Arson, it's like I had many videos on here talking about the price of P is an all-time low. Price of P dropped more than Bitcoin did in 2017. It's crazy. Appliance boot camp, that sounds kind of crazy that you're dealing with a crazy person because she doesn't understand that she's on your property and she's getting hostile. I would call the police in a heartbeat on that. Because essentially, one of the things we're going to be talking about is getting money in 2021. Like I said, yesterday was kind of sort of my day off because I felt like doing some stuff. I put the ad creative together and I was waiting 40 minutes in Cracker Barrel. People kept coming. So the economy is turning around. I still think we're going to have some tough years. It depends upon where you positioned and what you're doing. Mr. Solo, thanks for the $5 super chat. What are your top 3 recommendation ways to make money for a 24-year-old starting his first online business? Mr. Solo, my first recommendation would be to sell a physical product. You don't need trust and it's easier. My second suggestion would be to start a YouTube channel because essentially you're being young, you can tap into that younger audience and you could blow up. And my third thing would be to get into affiliate marketing. But if you're going to get online, sell a physical product. That's the fastest and easiest way to make money online. Fastest and easiest way. Ford is being supported by its truck sales. Ford ain't going nowhere anytime soon. The Village Arsonists, we're going to see massive evictions this year because we've got many different classes of people. We've got a group of people who they don't have no money. They don't have no money, man. And one of the things that they're running into is the mean, evil landlord who wants his money for, you entered into a contractual agreement to pay the landlord. And many people want to get butt hurt because I saw this video where these folks who were getting evicted during the pandemic, and they were just like, have some compassion, help someone out. Here's the thing. Let's say you pass out in the middle of the street and you need a doctor, and all these kind, helpful people are coming, they're checking on you, they're rubbing your shoulders, but you need a doctor. So there goes this kind and compassionate thing out the window when you need a doctor. I started this YouTube channel when I was 42, so yeah. Physical products. Yeah, YouTube gets a little shady. 48 Laws of Power said, don't get involved with an unlucky person. They bring their fate upon you. Like I said, a lot of bad energy with these sugar babies. A lot of bad energy, because essentially going ahead and looking, like I said, a lot of them are preordained for craziness and bad financial outcomes based upon decisions that they made, years ago. I mean, it is crazy. Compassion don't pay that mortgage, pretty much. Erica P, do you think we're experiencing a V-shaped recovery since it seems like the bottom has passed? No. If you call that a V-shaped recovery, we're not a V-shaped recovery. I don't see it. I think things are, essentially we're tired. Like, people are having weddings, people, like, this whole notion that everyone's going to work from home. I'm telling you, the fact that they're building all of these corporate buildings, I guarantee you there are going to be workers in those buildings. Guarantee it. Donnie Brasco, you never know until you try. This is the whole thing. You got to try. You got to get started. You gotta take some chances, man. Because essentially, this is one of the things that so many people are just looking for, a sure opportunity. And the only thing that's sure is you're going to pay taxes and you're going to die one day. You're right. One of my cousins admitted she tried OnlyFans. I was watching some of these OnlyFans videos, and a lot of these chicks who were making these OnlyFans videos, if you go to their OnlyFans page, you will see that it's been deactivated. That tells me that the gravy train for OnlyFans has passed. Essentially, YouTube views went way up, Pornhub views went way up, and then this is what I'm saying. People are going back to normal. People are having events. People are getting out. People are traveling. So we're about 2023. A lot of people in my neighborhood have taken this vaccine. A lot of people are taking that vaccine. A lot of people are not going to take that vaccine, but a lot of people are taking that vaccine. They're not making money on OnlyFans, pretty much. I think it's where you live in regard to the economy. I live in North Wildwood, New Jersey, and there's plenty of people about spending. There were plenty of people spending yesterday. This year will be interesting because of Joe Biden's first executive orders. It's going to be a nationwide moratorium on evictions and foreclosures. Essentially, what that's going to do is just kick the can down the road to 2022, because you cannot have someone in a house or an apartment forever and not pay rent or their mortgage. That's untenable. That's not going to happen. Kevin Davis, that's an interesting point, because that's a very interesting point. I was talking to my friend on Zoom. He's 31, same age as me. He's trying to get his life together after his ex kicked him out of her house. Fellas, never, ever live with a woman. And what does living with a woman mean? That your name ain't on the lease. Your name ain't on the mortgage. So anytime she say you gotta go, you gotta go. I did that once and I got kicked out. I did that once. I never did it again. I said, from this point, I'm never doing that again. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my house. I lost my dog. Never again. Never again. Never again, Ganji, would I ever do that again. Pretty much, Wayman Brown, that's where I see what's going to happen with this. People buying ammunition. No, there's laws to protect social media. It ain't going to change. Shopping therapy is the thing, and it's sad, pretty much. The Fed is propping up the stock market, man. A great lesson I learned from my dad. Never live with a woman. Let her stay with you, maybe. Pretty much. Fellas, don't do that. There ain't nothing worse than being kicked out of her house with you and your Jordans and your little possessions because you don't own anything. That's horrible. Pretty much the stock market's going to crash, just like Bitcoin crashed. People aren't following the rules and getting COVID before their second vaccine shot. Really? I haven't been keeping up with that. Nope. The stock market hasn't been a reflection. Remember when 20 some million people were laid off and the stock market zoomed up? It made no sense. Domestic violence, unfortunately, went way up during this. Way up. So that's why you're seeing an increase in restraining orders. Pretty much. Wayman Brown. That's funny. HSCBC, sixth largest bank, just put a boot on Bitcoin's neck. I expect America to follow. Well, here's the thing. I was watching Our Rich Journey. If there's they give a lot of really good practical advice. And they actually did a video why they're not buying Bitcoin. Very, very, it was real interesting to see that take because they did it and there's something else. Because it's either you're pro Bitcoin or you're not. That seems to be whatever camp you're in. I don't even know who's getting to the Super Bowl. It's interesting. But those Buffalo Bills look good. HSC has banned transactions in Bitcoin. Really? That's interesting. Hey. Boeing stock has been going up despite the fact they're getting new plane cancellations left and right. What does that say? Boeing was on the verge of bankruptcy and their stock was going up. So you got a point. Who that? You never know. So we will see what happens with the Browns today. But essentially, you guys have got to get your money up because to be 60 something years old and only making $50,000 a year, that's not good. That's not good. And one of the things I see, because like my first ads, because essentially I'm going to have to redo my ads probably 3 or 4 times. So I will be starting the ad course probably sometime next week, putting content in there, just highlighting what I'm doing. Theodore Cross, let me go ahead and give you this game on Bitcoin. There are supposedly only going to be 21 million. I guarantee you that's going to change. I guarantee you something's going to happen to Bitcoin. I don't know what, but something's going to happen to it, and it's just going to be a problem. It is just going to be a problem. Who that? Only team to beat Tom Brady twice. Terrell, we should make a conversation to men, or especially black men around the age of 16, 23. They need to start owning and starting, because I feel like our generation is more interested in other things. One of the reasons that they're interested in other things is because this is what's pushed and promoted. This is what's pushed and promoted because like van life took off. Like this girl with her little white snake, Alfredo. One of the reasons her channel took off, it was to see an attractive woman living in a van was very interesting and curious. And that's one of the reasons her channel took off. Oh, really? People are not trying to use Bitcoin to buy anything. They're holding on to it for it grows up in value. Yeah, the Bills are hot. I mean, the Bills put a thumping on the Ravens yesterday. Any given Sunday, man. Any given Sunday. So, you got to raise your income. And below, I have courses to help you do that for free. The money management course to help you do that. Because if you don't raise your income, what's going to happen is especially as a man, you're going to reach an age where your income's going to hit a ceiling, then it's going to start sliding down. That's what's going to happen. Maria, I'm a single woman with only 25K to invest. What should I do? I don't know what to invest in that's profitable. Maria, first thing you should do is take your 25,000 and put it in the bank. And then you should study. Where should you, and you shouldn't put all your $25,000 into the investment. You should dollar cost average it, whether you're going to buy stocks or whatever. And I would advise you to take your 25,000, put it in the bank, and start a service business and create more income for more investment options. Because when you only have like $25,000 to invest, that becomes like your everything. It's like, I got, $25,000 is a lot of money. So I would advise you to sit down and research stocks, to sit down and research, start a business, and actually see what your risk tolerance is. Because, see, I don't really know you, Maria, and I can't say that Maria should do X, Y, and Z. I can't do that because I don't know who you are. So I would say you need to study investing. And Maria, I got a few questions for you. Do you have any personal debt? And do you have your long-term emergency fund? Do you have your short-term emergency fund? Do you have your family operating account, Maria? y'all in this football. Thank you, Royston. So, let's see what Maria has. Because essentially, the whole thing is you got to manage your money correctly. And Maria, hopefully you don't have any debt, because if you have a lot of debt, I would suggest you pay off that debt. However, if you don't have an emergency fund, I would suggest that you use that 25,000 as your long-term emergency fund and make some more money. So it just depends on where you are. The Saints are good. That defense is fire. 20% of all money was created last year. I heard, yeah, Grant Cardone was talking about that. 20% of all money that was printed last year. You're going to see an additional stimulus the next 2 years, the next 24 months. And then if the Democrats lose the House or something, then you will see a roadblock. All right, engineer appliance repair. Probably not. You know, I was thinking about that. I'm not like a sports guy. Probably not. Probably not. That's just not me. I mean, you know, this is nice to be an owner, but probably not. Probably not. Not one of my, you know, I like football, but I like college football more than I like pro football. Recent years, I've become a fan of pro football, but I've always been a fan of college football since I was a little kid. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Go below for all of the free stuff or whatever you need, and I will see you guys in the next one.